What is up, guys? I'm Soulbash. Welcome back. We are back with some more Paladins Strike. We've got the patch notes for Phase 3. So let's take a look at what they changed over the past week, what's been adapted, and I'll try to throw in some gameplay so this is not quite as boring. So here we go. This is what they said. Today we updated our PTS server with 8 redesigned champions and a variety of new features and balance changes. Read on for the full breakdown of everything that's been added. iOS users who have access to the PTS can update directly through the test flight. If you're not an iOS user that doesn't have access to PTS yet, be sure to sign up on our PTS sign up page at paladinsstrike.com/PTS. For Android users, you can download the game by following this link, hitting download, then installing the APK file that will download to your device. All right, now getting into the champions. Canessa, Maeve, Ruckus, Tyra, Lex, Terminus, Makoa, and Sky. Those are the 8 champions that got added this week. And we did play quite a bit of those yesterday. So if you had missed that live stream, you can go check that out. But some other things that they added was the game mode adjustments. The capture point mechanic has been redefined. Previously, a player would need to stand on a point to instantly capture the point for their team. Now players must stand on the point for several seconds to lock in that point for their team before an objective progress can be made. This change is reflected in all game modes and is introduced in the tutorial. The 5v5 summons mode has been reintroduced with the new map adjustments, and please give it a try and give us your feedback. So they changed a couple things and they added summons in, so make sure you are trying out summons. Go into the more mode and we'll be on the very far left side. It'll say summons. You can invite 4 of your other friends to play. It's pretty cool. Very fun gameplay. Now, as far as the balance and adjustments they made, let's talk about the general overall changes that they made. A manual reload button was added in the bottom right of the screen while in match, and this button will allow you to restore ammo energy, and it has a cooldown. Now, the cooldown on it seems to be about 20 seconds on each champion, and it does help out. So Drogos is not the only character that's able to reload anymore. It's pretty much all across the board, and Drogos got changed a little bit, and he's actually the first one I want to talk about. They reduced his max health from 2400 to 2100. His rocket launcher damage was also reduced from 850 to 700. So he caught a little bit of nerf on his damage right there, which seemed justifiable because he did have quite a bit of damage. Simplified thrusters ability now replaces salvo and increases Drogo's movement speed by 25%. Now that's what I was just talking about, the reload ability. That salvo, it increases his movement speed by 25%, and it seems like it helps him reload a little bit faster, but it's just a movement speed ability. You still have to hit that outside reload ability, so don't forget about that. Also, on Drogo's, fire spit damage was reduced from 1250 damage to 1000 damage. The fire spit, it just goes in and it does quite a bit of damage. It pops and it does AoE damage as well, so you can hit multiple targets, so it's pretty cool. And with that, fire spit now aims at the lowest health enemy in the area by default when tapping the ability. So if you don't aim the fire spit ability and you just hit it, it's going to go towards the lowest health enemy in your area. All right, so good bit of adjustments for Drogos, kind of bringing down on the level of everybody else. We have Grok with a little bit of change. Lightning staff damage was reduced from 800 to 700, so that's his basic attack. It was reduced by 100 damage. And also healing totem has been increased from 150 to 250 on the heals. Now, another change that they did fix in this that's not noted is his healing totem. It did last patch only have 600 health. Now that has been adjusted to reflect what it needed to be, so it's about double that, I believe. Moving on, we have Barrack. His blunderbuss damage has been reduced from 200 to 175, which is justifiable for me as well. Barrack did a lot of damage in that first patch, so I'm glad to see he got a little bit of a nerf there on that. And also his barricade cooldown has been increased from 10 seconds to 15 seconds, so you won't be able to spam that barricade as often as you were before. Moving on, we have Grover. The Blossoming Hill area has been standardized between the passive and active effects of the ability. So the passive effect of Blossoming Hill is if you're not close to someone, it would passively heal them. If you're close to someone, it would passively heal them as long as that ability was not used. So also with that ability, Blossom passive healing has been reduced from 200 to 100, and Blossom's active healing has been reduced from 1000 to 700. So he got a little bit of nerf on the active healing side, but he got a buff. Actually, he got nerfed on both sides. So yeah, Blossom now heals all allies around Grover though, and Whirlwind's radius has been reduced by 20%. And on top of that, Whirlwind's ultimate charge rate from taking damage has been reduced by 25%. So Grover overall, a lot of adjustments there for his healing, trying to get everything situated, make sure he's good. And on next we have Buck. They increased Buck's max health from 2800 to 3200, and they also shotgun damage has been increased from 175 to 200. So Buck was a little bit lackluster. People could jump in, not have enough shots, or do enough damage to somebody to take them out effectively if they got nice clean shots on all of them. So I'm glad they did some adjustments with him. We'll have to try him out soon. Victor, they increased his max health from 2400 to 2600, and assault rifle range has been reduced from 30 to 18. So we did have some people saying that some of these guys they were able to shoot too far off the screen and you can't see it, so that's been reduced. All right, Pip, we have healing potion projectile speed increased by 10%, and healing potion cooldown has been reduced from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. Evil Mojo projectile speed has been increased by 25% as well. So Pip got a nice little buff. His healing potion to Evil Mojo, all of his projectile speed stuff that he has, it's increased, and healing potion cooldown, so you got 2 more seconds there. That's not bad. Next we have Eevee. Ice Staff attack area has been reduced by 25%. So I'm assuming that's the cone radius of which the attack spreads. Also, we have Ice Staff damage has been increased from 300 to 350. So she got a nice little buff there on it. And Blink's cooldown has been reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. So what that means is you can blink about 2 seconds faster. Ice Block explosive damage cap has been increased from 550 to 1100. That's pretty huge. A lot of times I'll see Eevee Ice Block, she usually ends up dying right after it. So if anybody's close, that's the damage that needs to be done. We also have Androxus. A revolver damage has been increased from 350 to 400. Revolver range has been increased by 25%. Defiance angle has been reduced by 30%. Reversal now absorbs from both the front and the sides, and Reversal's cooldown has been reduced from 16 seconds to 12 seconds. So Androxus got a pretty nice little buff in this patch. He did seem a little lackluster to some people. His range, for one, they did increase his damage, so get out there and try him out, Androxus. We'll have to do some new playing of him, see if we can't see how he does. Now next we have Ash. The shoulder bash charging speed has been increased by 20%. And we have Cassie. The crossbow damage has been increased from 350 to 450, and blast shot damage has been increased from 400 to 600. Now also with Cassie, her dodge roll cooldown has been reduced from 6 seconds to 4 seconds to give her a lot more mobility. But yeah, overall, these are the patch notes in their entirety of what they changed for Phase 3. Now, a lot of this information is stuff we didn't know yesterday, which is really good to know what they changed down to the specifics of small pieces of damage, a percentage of a range, or, you know, just an overall reduction. Now, there was another thing up here about the MVP scores I probably didn't touch on. They reduced the MVP scores from taking damage by 15% for all frontline champions. Now what that means is at the end of the game, when the game tallies up MVP scores, it's going to attribute taking damage 15% less from frontline champions now to consider them for MVP of the game. So hopefully if tanks are in the front and doing their job, they're not going to immediately be the ones that are going to be MVP as long as your damage is out there doing the work. So with that being said, though, I'm pretty much sure this is all that was covered. Like I said, if you have any questions, though, do feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Also, leave a like on this video as it does help us out a lot. That's going to be it for this video, guys. If you have any other questions, like I said, leave them in the comments below. As always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. I am Soulbash. You guys have a nice day.